Well, one more game. One more game of the regular season. Notre Dame hangs up the blue-gray uniforms, heads out west. Out west to face our rival, the assholes of USC. Notre Dame versus USC Trojans this Saturday, 3:30. I love it. Let's go. This is the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. I am Joe, your host, waiting on a co-host. At some point will show up. But it's a big deal. Playoff is on the line, and the playoff has been on the line for a minute or two. And actually, my favorite part of the game on Saturday, we're going to recap the Army game, do some playoff talk. But my favorite point of the game was Coach Freeman was being interviewed, and someone at NBC made a comment about this team and the NIU loss and whatever. And Coach Freeman's response, unwavering, was every game has been a playoff game since NIU. And that is 100% true. 100% correct. Because it's do or die. And let's go. So let's go to our people here. I got Coach Parsegian. Got Justin. Got Jason. Adam. Fivers. We got a bunch of people. Let's bring Luis on first, because he is traveling down to LA. We want to get his input, get his thoughts. He's requested to speak. There we go. Oh, X. Why don't you work for us? Let's go.
What's up, guys? How's everybody's night going?
What's up, Luis? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Nah, thank you, bro. I'm anxious. I'm actually just been, man, I've been on the stress box for like the last 3 days. There's so much writing for us. There's a lot of things in play. But this is when we wake up, guys. This is our year. I can feel it. Riley's playing the way he's playing. Our running backs are playing the way they are. We got the coach that we're looking for. We got the defense that we got. This is the time that we wake up those echoes. Let's wake up that thunder. Let's bring that thunder back. And let's start bringing it to everybody anytime, any day, any place. And let's smack them. Each and every time, smack them. And when they get back up, you smack them again. And you show them this is Notre Dame.
That's right. That's right. I had a tweet, I think it was yesterday, and I was doing a lot of shit talking with SC people. And if any of them have balls, they would be here tonight. They don't, but that's okay. Or it's not okay. I don't know. Either way, it was a function of SC was better last year than they are this year. Notre Dame is better this year than they were last year. Notre Dame beat SC quite handedly last year. Conclusion, USC is fucked this year. We are a much better team than we were last year, and we'll go through the numbers later here, but we're top 5 in multiple stats, top 10 in multiple stats. There's only a handful of things that they are, quote, better than us, but I'm not worried. I asked the doc, all right, your thoughts on USC? She said, I'm not worried. So.
Yeah, like my whole thing is that this is what we were building up this whole entire season, is to see this team finally come together. And when it finally is like, in my own eyes, I'm speaking to me personally, like I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. I'm looking at it. And it's like, man, this is the moment that we've been waiting for, guys. And I want Marcus Freeman to let these kids know, and I'm pretty sure he is, hey, there's fans like us that's been dying for this moment. You know what I mean? And we're going to ride with our team no matter what. But when you have all these SEC schools, and I'm going into their spaces and I'm fighting each and every time and calling them out, they don't want this smoke. They don't want none of this smoke. Because we're that type of team that we'll cut your nuts and hand them to you. That's the mentality that we got. We got that virus right now. You know what I mean? We're ready to go. We body, bro. But at the same time, all BS aside, I am so looking forward to it. And my man JTL, like you made a possibility big for me, bro. The moment that he told me and he let me know, like, hey, we're gonna try our best to get you up here. And believe it or not, guys, I already booked my stay for South Bend if we win Saturday.
Hell yeah,
if we
man.
don't, I'm already doing everything. I'm maxing out my credit cards. I'm maxing out everything, and I'm going with my baby boy, and I'm doing that. But at the same time, though, SC's this week. I'm ready to meet. What's his name?
Red Snapper.
That Red Snapper.
Yeah.
Those leprechauns. Everybody on the West Coast out here. I am heading to LA. I will be in LA at 6:00 in the morning. Because we're going to visit some family and everything. I'm going to stop by Fresno, say hi to my mama and my daddy. And after that, I'm going to tell you I love you. I miss you guys, but I got to go to Notre Dame, blue and gold, with my cane on, with my sons and my nephews, and representing Notre Dame football all day, every day. And let all eyes on us. All eyes on us.
Do you have any thoughts about the noon game?
It actually works out good for me because I'm able to come back because it's a 3.5 hour drive from LA to Fresno, and we actually have a family that's getting married. And I told her I can't go to it, but now that I am, I'm like I'm gonna be there late.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I was at a birthday party watching the game from a bar, so holding the baby and drinking a beer. It was great. Well, Luis, we are excited for you to go see this team this year as they're on the rise and looking good, looking strong. It's a good time to go see the Irish this year. Lots of excitement going into playoff momentum. Let's take care of business on Saturday. I wish you the best. Safe travels.
Thank you guys, and all you guys. If I don't get to speak to you guys again, or if I don't get to meet you and all that, happy Thanksgiving to you all, man. Thank you.
That's right. It is Thanksgiving.
And it's a moment like to reflect and be thankful for what we do have and help out those that are not. You know what I mean? And us Mexicans have a belief that says, "Hoy por ti, mañana por mí." You know what I mean? In other words, it says, "Today for you and tomorrow for me." And this is what this space and this is what this fan base has done for me. That I'm telling you guys have brought so much joy to my life. And bro, I'm waking up at 3:00 in the morning to go work out besides that I'm stretching out this SC game. And I'm posting it every time. Like every time I'm at the gym, I'm there.
I thought I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm tagging you guys, and I'm sorry if I do it, guys. It just thank you guys and bless and just treasure your loved ones each and every day, guys. And
amen.
And, hey, let's have a good weekend, guys.
All right, Luis, really appreciate you, the front man of the Fighting Irish Faithful show. Thank you so much. We're going to segue from the man from Reno by way of Fresno down to, I don't know if this is the Valley. At Johnny Wilds invited you to speak. If people do not know Johnny, he a man who needs no introduction, but a former odds maker in Vegas, can give us a little bit more of the background, the numbers behind the spread, and what a little insight into the betting world here. So we got Johnny Wild here invited to speak. He's going to come on and join us here shortly and soon. So hit through an invite to you, sir. I know it's lagging or something. I'm not sure what's going on here, but really looking forward to it. With the SC game. A couple of things I wanted to touch on real quick. Back to the Army game. There was really no doubt Notre Dame comes out immediately, takes care of business. And why is this happening? This is why we need an intern here to run the controls here. There you go, Johnny. Hit the pink button, lower left-hand corner. Get you on. No.
All right. Am I there?
You are there. I can hear you.
All right. Listen, bro. You know I am technically challenged.
It doesn't help when X is delayed, so I'm not exactly sure what's happening. So
good. Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone on the show.
That's right.
And Weather Girl says hi.
Good. The Weather Girl.
Yes. All right. So here we go. I was on the show, I think in like the first couple weeks, and I told you guys the key numbers 3, 7, and 10, right?
Yes.
Well, this is kind of an anomaly. Notre Dame opened up -7,
Yep. I saw
and
that.
the total was like 51.5, which I don't really deal with totals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about them. They're ancillary because you don't get guys coming to the window. Like when I worked in Vegas doing odds, it was more sides. The sides are like -7, -3, whatever. So it was like I talked to my boy Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate, and he's like, Johnny, he goes, we had wise guys lumbering money on Notre Dame -7.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to go off 7. You don't want to go off that. It's a very, very prominent number, as you would say as an engineer, a very key number.
Okay. It's also a
With that
prime
being
number
said,
too.
is
But
that it's a prime number. I get that. But they moved to 7.5, and
I
they
do.
haven't had
Yes.
much take back, and that's a very, very concern. They had like these sharp guys. Like there's like maybe in Vegas, to be honest with you, there's like 5 respected players. I'm not going to give their last names. The first bet was a very big one. It was $250,000 at Notre Dame -7. But there's been no buyback. And there's guys that, when I say buyback, they'll take the +7.5.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on that. So I talked to my boy Jeff Sherman, and he's like, Johnny, he said, we're overloaded on Irish money. He goes, and I expect the public to follow it. And I said, well, we always know that Notre Dame, Dallas Cowboys, Lakers, Celtics are the sophisticated teams. Like I wouldn't say sophisticated. They're just like the prominent teams. They're popular.
Yeah, the
But
popular in the betting world, sure.
yeah, so he said, "We're screwed if your boys win."
Well, there's no way to stick it to the man than trying to take it to the casino. The 7.5, yeah, that's interesting. And I was tempted to do a breakdown of Notre Dame's spread versus what they actually covered, and things of that nature. And then I could even do on the USC side, but then I chose not to do that. A, just because that would be way too much time, and B, USC, their games have been very close. If you look at their losses, it's like a 3-point loss here, one loss, I think, to Maryland or something like that. They have a lot of close losses, and Notre Dame has been blowing everybody out ever since the 5 Foot Nothing pod stopped doing previews. So good on him for not doing that. But that being said, we're at -7.5. And so you're saying that a lot of people are betting on the Irish to cover that?
Yeah, the sophisticated action right off the bat, Joe, was like there was north of $250,000 bets on Notre Dame -7, and it's very, very leery, as aforementioned. You don't want to move off 3, 7, or 10.
Mm-hmm.
They had to because it was just so overloaded. It was sophisticated action. And then my buddy Jeff told me, he said, Johnny, he said, the public's going to follow. He said, SC will always get action in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, they have a great alumni that back them. And he likes that because it gives them even out money. But he said he's very, very scared of this game. And he said, and this is off the record, he said, I'm very scared because Notre Dame should roll them. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't see it that way. I think it's a tight game. I said, I think that the Irish are going to win. I said, but I don't like 7.5. I'd rather say 7 flat. When I 7 flat is 7 -110 both ways. And then instead of going to 7.5, Joe, you go to 7 to -120, 7 -125, and then it all. But they got drilled with money, and they take big money there. And like, Jake Cornegay was like, Johnny, he goes, your boys. He goes, I don't know what to say. I said, get off me.
I mean, last year, let me ask you a question here. Last year, the spread was 2.5 points to Notre Dame. Okay, kind of near that 3 number that you were talking about. Okay,
sure.
We rolled the Trojans. We beat them by 28 points, and per teamrankings.com at the time last year, we were favored by 55%. With 2.5, and we smoked them last year, and USC was really good in a lot of statistics at the time. Number one in total touchdowns, passing touchdowns, scoring offense. Number two in tackles for loss per game on defense. Their yards per point was cooking. This year, it's not even close as far as statistics that Notre Dame has in their favor, and they're only favored 7.5. I find that strange, and I don't really like based off of Notre Dame's track record. For the most part, they've mopped the floor with teams this year.
Yeah, I'll just give you a kind of like when I worked in Vegas and doing the odds I did. If it looks too good, it's not too good. What you want to do, Joe and et al., is attract two-way action, and that's so hard to get. But this game it should be a blowout. I mean, Notre Dame should mop the floor with them.
They really should.
But the odds suggest it's going to be tighter. Now, Joe and I, we've talked offline. Odds don't always suggest. What you're trying to do is get two-way action.
Yeah.
When that number came out, I made the game 11.5. And I was talking with Westgate, and they're like, Johnny, is like 11.5 is going to get nothing but one-way action. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't hang it at 7, and they hung it at 7. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I got a message from Jay, and he's like, dude, he's sorry. And I'm like, no worries. And so it's hard. It's in the gaming world, it's the most unpredictable world. And you and I are data guys, and you know that way.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. But all you're looking for is like 50-50 action. You'll never get that. But you want to get a median, if you will.
Yeah.
In my professional opinion, this line was way too low. But I will say this: and overseas, they just took a very, very $900,000 bet on SC plus 7.5. So I get these alerts on my phone. That was $900,000 bet. That's not like someone has an opinion. That's someone who's invested.
Yikes! Good.
Yeah, So it's good to be here. Any questions you have about the odds or whatever, it's not easy. But you're a data guy. That's why I think we get along so well. But I just didn't understand this line. I thought 7 was cheap. Mm-hmm. If you would have put 7.5. I guarantee you would have got SC action right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. But I just don't see how they compete.
Yeah, I don't see it either with USC. I mean, Lincoln Riley historically has been doing good, but their momentum is not good. I guess they did just beat UCLA, so good on you. But they had to come back with that win over the Bruins there, and I don't know, just.
I don't know.
There's very little I can do to influence all of this, obviously, and I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their money, obviously, but I did think it was interesting. I was surprised it was quote-unquote as low as 7.5. I mean, Army, for crying out loud, was 14, and I thought the Army game could potentially be closer than what this USC game is going to be, and we steamrolled Army. So
yeah, I agree with you. I made the game 18.5. I thought the number was cheap. They hadn't played nobody, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
but I think that the bigger concern is that Notre Dame doesn't get trapped. SC is going to come out. It's their season. They're going to try to ruin the Irish season.
Oh, sure.
Just don't slip up. And I think that what I really respect about Marcus less NIU. He gets them fired up. He got them fired up for Army, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, let's put it this way. I guarantee you Marcus Freeman's going to be fired up because he's never won in the Coliseum.
Nope. And I will just let you know, I'm still cooking on your tamales. We had a little hiccup in the road today. But they'll be there. It's really hard to ship food from California,
Understood.
But I promise you. But you got some good shit coming, dog.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, Johnny, really appreciate your input here. A little glimpse into the betting world. and kind of a little bit about the behind the scenes and some of the insight here. A different angle that most people just, quite frankly, don't get or understand or this, that, or the other. And I still don't understand it, but it is what it is. Johnny, thanks so much.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey, listen, man, if anyone's on the show that I'm not following, my apologies. I'm not really good in this technology shit, as Joe will tell you. I had to transfer tickets to Joe, and it was about a 15 to 20-minute process. Joe, don't beat me up. That's not
I didn't
nice.
beat you up. I'm just saying. I totally forgot about that. That was that took a minute. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, whatever,
it's all good.
dude. All right, love you guys.
All
hey,
right.
everyone, have a very, very happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Again, anyone I'm not following, I'm always an open book. Peace.
You put your turkey in the brine yet? Or are you doing that tomorrow?
Nope, 9:00. Just got a couple of delays, so let's go on the brine, and I'm going to do the Traeger tomorrow.
Now we're talking.
And I'll be texting you all day asking for advice. You know that.
All right. Well, good thing I'm working from home tomorrow. All right, Johnny. Thanks so much.
I love you, bro. Peace.
All right. Peace. That's Johnny Wilds on the X. All right, Fivers, I see you there, but we're going to jump over to Coach Parsegian because I don't think we got him at all last week.
No, you didn't get me at all. You're going to run your mouth about the Yankees and then never come to me.
Well, I mean, we're trying to limit the length of the show so they don't just go on and on. In your defense, same with Irish JTL here. We didn't get him either, and he actually had 4 Horsemen's shit to talk to. So, anyway, Coach Parsegian, I don't yet have your walk-up music with respect to your Jenga beer cans crashing and you going, my bad. So that's still in the pipeline here for a later episode. But anyway, your thoughts on Army, on the Trojans, playoff rankings just came out tonight. Where do you want to go with this?
The rankings are what they are. I don't think anybody is shocked that Alabama fell just outside of the 12 till the SEC championship game when they can magically watch it happen, jump right back in.
Yeah, I thought that was a little suspicious. I'll put it that way.
I'm genuinely shocked Indiana stayed in the top 10.
Yeah,
as bad as they got smoked.
I'm pulling it up right now. They did get smoked. They did drop 5 places down to 10. I'm still annoyed as hell that fucking Penn State is in front of us. They barely squeaked by Minnesota, right? So, and then we pound a ranked team that was in their playoff ranking, okay? And yeah, we don't
play anybody.
Apparently,
we don't play anybody. It's not like Penn State who plays everybody, but they beat no one, but they play everybody. So
yeah, well, and I will say this is the one Achilles. It's not really an Achilles thing, but one thing that may be suspect. Per Sagarin, everyone knows I'm a big Sagarin guy. It has strength of schedule, and Notre Dame does have the worst strength of schedule of everybody within the top 13 teams per Sagarin. Okay, we're ranked 65 strength of schedule. Penn State 37. Ohio State.
You did say we're number 2 in Sagarin.
We are okay, so here's the deal. I got that down. Notre Dame is number 2 in Sagarin this week. Now, if anyone's ever looked at Sagarin, the website looks really sketch, but if you scroll down, it's fine. It's just a real basic website. It's just literally a white background with black text. Nothing exciting. But what's exciting is the numbers, and it tells you how many teams that you have played, or what's your record against teams in the top 30 of Sagarin. And it always recycles and updates every week, right? And so only 2 of those teams make Notre Dame, which is of course Texas A&M and Louisville are in the top 30 of Sagarin. But what it also has is this like predictor and a golden mean, and then they have like some recency bias, so to speak. And so it weighs the more recent games more heavily than the previous. Case in point, Notre Dame was 6th in Sagarin last week, and with our performance and with what everybody else did, because no one else really had a dominant performance except maybe Ohio State, we jump up huge, 4 spots in Sagarin in 1 week. That's massive. So hooray for us. But we are ranked in the recent rankings number 1, with Ohio State number 2 in Sagarin. And if you ask your average Notre Dame fan, what their thought is, it's like, man, we're killing people. We're murdering every team. Though the teams may not be like the toughest, right, or whatever. We didn't roll Tennessee or something, but I mean, we're taking care of business against quote unquote lesser opponents, and that's what you're supposed to do. So no one's gonna fault. Well, Notre Dame fans aren't going to fault our own team when you pound Army, by 35 points, right? And I hope we do the same thing with USC this week.
I will say USC, I know they're terrible this year, but they worry me strictly because it's Notre Dame and USC.
Yeah, I mean, they are our rival.
This rivalry lives for moments like this Saturday when you've got one team that is pushing for a playoff or, back in the day, a championship.
Yeah,
game
championship
appearance.
run. That's right. What was USC
it's
in
right for an
2012?
upset this week.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. I'm gonna look something up here. USC 2012. I was curious. I know USC started number 1 in the country. With Lane Kiffin there in 2012. Let's see, what was their record here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looked like SC was 7-4 going into that game, and we were 11-0. Yeah, they had a loss. They had just lost to UCLA, lost to Oregon, Arizona, and Stanford earlier in the year, and then they had 7 wins under their belt. So they were 7-4 going into that 2012 year. And I think it was a similar situation come 2018. We're jumping ahead a couple years here. I know this is annoying. We're kind of doing this on the fly, everybody. 2018 Trojans. Oh, they were even worse in 2018. Yeah. That was a 5-6 football team that put up a fight against Notre Dame. So, and Notre Dame got it out a win 24-17. So, maybe Vegas is onto something, right? In these close games, it's, maybe we'll need 5 field goals, God forbid, because our field goal kicking is not nearly as good. So.
How come we didn't have that 30-year-old kicking field goals Saturday?
Why do we go for it on 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line and we're in fucking shotgun? I only lost my cool once during the game on Saturday, and we're down in the red zone. We're ready to score, and we're in fucking shotgun, and it's 4th and 1. I'm like, just get under center and punch it in, or get under center and fake the handoff and roll, like you're. Well,
I'm sure Denbrock knows this. I'm sure Freeman knows this. Everybody in the stadium and everybody watching knows this. But apparently, somebody didn't tell Riley Leonard, "You're not Bo Jackson. You can't go over the top." So by now, I'm sure he knows. But
yeah.
There was 2 or 3 times he tried to go over the top, and it's just like, dude,
what are you doing? Stop it. You're
better going around the edge.
Yes. Yeah, I thought Riley Leonard had kind of a quiet game per se, with respect. What do you think? Yeah, maybe that's a good thing, right? We're actually letting the running backs be the stars of the running game.
Well, as easy as they made it look, I mean, we had all 3 of our main running backs had untouched breakaways,
and they all had touchdowns, right? Which is great. I mean, Riley Leonard only had 30 yards rushing in this Army game, which is crazy.
It's almost as if Army prepared to stop Leonard, but forgot about everybody else.
That's fine. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we have got 3 guys in the backfield that can tear you up. and then throw Riley Leonard in there, it's like, hey, it's good stuff, man. And Jelly was 4 of 5 passing, QBR of 94, whatever. Riley Leonard was 10 of 13 passing for 148 yards. Nothing's fancy, but he's got 2 touchdowns. He's throwing a touchdown every 7.5 attempt, or excuse me, 6.5 attempts. That does not suck. So it's like, okay. Granted, we're playing Army, right? But still.
Well, as long as we don't have any jet lag Saturday, the defense should be able to pick up right where they left off.
That's my hope as well. I mean, our defense, we're third in total defense. We're let's see, rush defense, we could do better, but we are number 1 in pass defense.
Basically, us and Army just swap places.
Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to this because the running game is so good for Notre Dame, and right now there's no one in front of us, in this case the Trojans, that can stop it. So
I was going to say, how is USC, since you've got the stats pulled up, what does their rush defense look like overall?
Defense, they're actually better in rush defense than we are. Technically, they're 43rd in the country. We're 48th. Now, what I haven't done, and these are just the numbers of what it is, Notre Dame versus everybody else. But Notre Dame has played 2 service academies, right? And we also got kind of smoked in that NIU game as far as rushing goes. But we played both academies that all they do is run the ball. I mean, like look over at Army, right? We beat them soundly. They still put 207 rushing yards on the ground. Okay. So I don't get too excited with respect to yard points per se, as far as like yards. I mean, yeah, it's cool, and it's a function of how well a team is moving the ball. But what's more important to me is points, right? And if we're not allowing them to score touchdowns, then I feel that's a better place to be. Let's go. So, for example, are you taking a leak, man? What am I hearing?
No, it's the cat's water fountain.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Fair enough. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Wash your hands. Go on mute. No, scoring defense is what I wanted to say. We're second in the country, just averaging 11.6, whereas SC is averaging, 21.2. So if I do scoring margins comparing the teams, Notre Dame is plus 27.4, SC is plus 8.1. Do you know what national champions average over the last 10 years in that? 25. So our scoring margin is better than what natty teams have been doing over the last 10 years. And we're better than that. And if I even go back historically, looking at Notre Dame over the years, this is the highest scoring margin differential ever, in ever since I've been keeping statistics, since the Lou Holtz days. It is by far the highest in scoring margin. So that's good. That's good for Notre Dame, and Luis is excited. We're making a run, and I have no idea if it has anything to do with Magical Year 3. All I know is this is what is happening right now, and why I'm very confident going into the SC game. I get it's SC, it's our rival, which is why I want to pound them. And if it's me, I've got laser-like hate focus on this team. It's not overconfidence and cockiness; it's confidence.
Well, as far as Magical Year 3, I don't care what happens in the regular season. All that matters is the postseason, because thank you, Brian Kelly, and his Magical Year 3.
Yeah, that was
we got utterly destroyed.
Rough. Well, and I'll say this though, I was a completely different fan then that I am now. I had the rose-colored glasses on. I'm like a kid sitting in front of the the TV, on the carpet watching Notre Dame. That was me in 2012. Okay. if I was as analytical then that I am now, I would have been like, yeah, we're not going to win against Alabama, and here are the reasons. Okay. And I did that in 2020 when I first started this show. I was like, we're playing Alabama in the playoffs, and I'm like, no, we're not going to win, and here's why, and we saw that, right? So I'm not trying to be rude about the whole thing. It's just like, Kelly is who he is, right? And LSU fans are finally, smelling the coffee that we told them about. I think a lot of them are still in denial. But I saw someone
they believed we're going to be aggressive in the transfer portal. Sure you are. It's not going to matter. This is Brian Kelly.
Are they going to get a quarterback too in the transfer portal? Oh, wait.
Oh, probably.
Coach, any other thoughts here before we jump over to Fivers?
The only other thing, and I probably should have said it when he was still on, he's gotten off, but shout out to Johnny Boxing. I hope his health is doing much better than it has been recently. I've been thinking about him a lot.
I'm sure he appreciates that. If you send him a message, he'll appreciate that. Yeah, no, Johnny Wilds has had been up, it's been down, and left and right. I'll just put it that way. So when he can jump on and give us some input, that's appreciated. So we try to stay in touch every week or two. So just kind of keep things real. But yeah, got Turkey Day coming up in a couple days, and then we got the Irish on Saturday. So Coach Barcgian, 2-time national champion. Coach, any final thoughts for the team or advice that you can give them?
I have lost my fair share of games against USC when it mattered. Freeman has got to be prepared because USC wants to play spoiler.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And nothing would give them greater joy than to do that.
Do not be NIU 2.0. This is not a business trip.
No, fuck that business trip. If I see people with business trip stuff, I call them out and I say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Business trips are not fun. Business trips are about, maybe, you can, get some extra drinks that you put on your corporate card, okay, and then you slide it past your manager by just showing the receipt of the one you signed, not the itemized one, right? But other than that, it's about getting deals done, right? It's sleeping in shitty hotels, dealing with airports and travel and all that bullshit, okay? Business trips are not fun. Okay, it's about getting shit done for your company and trying to make a difference and justifying the cost of you getting out of your comfort zone and going out and doing something else. Okay, they're about business. Okay, that's not what this is. Okay, we're playing a rival team, a team we hate, a team we love to hate, and they are now between us and the next level of hosting a playoff game back in our own stadium in December. So they need to be dealt with, and convincingly need to be dealt with. So I'll leave it at that. Coach Barcgian, appreciate you very much. Fivers, I see you there. Let's go to you. You've been patiently waiting, and then we'll hit up Jason next. A couple things about Army that I would like to touch on before we talk more about SC. What was my favorite thing? Obviously, running the football. We had 5 rushing touchdowns. We averaged 5.6 attempts for every touchdown, so that doesn't suck. Okay, here, every 5 times we hand the ball off, we score. I love it. Jeremiah Love, his hurdle, come on, give me a break. He ends up with two touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown, and I believe the hurdle was a receiving touchdown. And I'm getting shades of Ricky Waters and Reggie Bush, believe it or not, when I see him. Not because I like Reggie Bush, but the electricity and his ability to cut and move quickly, I'm seeing that in Jeremiah Love. So very cool, very exciting to watch him. And really this Army game really showcased him. However, one of the other things that I really liked about this game was the names on the back of the jersey. I have been saying just do that for years. Like, and I know people don't like that. Everyone wants us to pee in a trough and play on natural grass with paper tickets and leather helmets and stuff. Look, who cares, right? It was great because then it's easier to identify the players. And I know some people are going to call me out and say, well, you should know all the players by their numbers. Okay, yes, I will go and memorize 99 people's numbers, okay? No, that's why I have a spreadsheet so I can write all this shit down so I don't have to remember, okay? So I'm trying to be efficient and lazy. But I like the names on the back of the jersey. I thought it was cool. So, and what's weird is you could actually read those on the jerseys. You couldn't read the numbers. The numbers are way too shiny and reflective, so I'm not sure about that. Fivers, you are there. You are on mute. Come back to us.
Well, the Four Horsemen definitely rode again on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish Leonard did get a rushing touchdown.
Okay.
But he didn't. I mean, he's not. We're doing the same play 3 times in a row. I didn't understand that. And then he's trying to go through the air. We already discussed this earlier.
Yeah, he doesn't need to fly in the air. That's a way to fumble the ball or get hurt.
And he's taking a lot of big hits too. I just don't want him to get injured. Because I remember in like week 2, we were all kind of like when he got injured for a little bit.
Yes.
And then NIU, everyone was like, "Good, now maybe Angelic."
Can come in. That's right.
Yeah, but now if he gets injured, I'm like, shit. This is actually may not be too good. But
well, sure, because he's a weapon on the ground that teams must account for. They might have to put a spy on him and stuff, and I think that has freed things up. With the passing game and whatnot, using the run to open up the pass. And quite frankly, our passing is getting better with him. We're not putting up crazy passing yardage numbers at all, nor will we this season, quite frankly. However, we are very efficient with the football. Our passing attempts per touchdown is better than USC, believe it or not. Okay, it's not national champion good, but our passing attempts per touchdown is 17.8. USC is 20.3. So, and if I just look at completion percentage as a team, okay, we're 65%, 26th in the country. SC 64, 37th in the country. Okay, so I'm happy with where he is progressing and improving, and that's all we want. We want our team to look better week in, week out, getting better every week, and we're seeing that. And back to you, Fivers, if he's jumping in the air and doing all this goofy shit that he doesn't need to do, okay, just use your athletic ability and just run, east and west a little bit, and then make a hard cut, then do that.
Yeah, I mean, we're winning. That's good. Also, the Jim Thorpe Award finalists came out, and Xavier Watts is not a finalist, and I think that is very stupid. Like, you compare with the 3 that were picked out. You compare his numbers. Huh? That doesn't make any sense.
I think a lot of these trophies and awards and things, and it's nothing against the people personally that pick it. It's kind of like the Heisman. It's like you're getting
popularity now.
That's what it comes down to. It comes down to a popularity contest, and who look good on a highlight reel and shit like that. It's never about just pure math and numbers. Okay,
and that's what we do over here. It's all about the math and numbers, not ooh, this looks good and this looks good. It's like the statistics.
Yeah, that's exactly. I don't like the eye test language. That's a trigger word for me. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. The data and the analytics should be guiding us. I mean, for fuck's sakes, we started the show, with a Vegas odds maker, talking about numbers and data. Right now, that's a little mysterious on how those numbers are derived. But that being said, it is a numbers thing, and it sounded like from talking to Johnny, there's some historical basis behind it. Whether it's actually based off of performance of teams is another story. But again, you're trying to entice people on both sides to bet in both ways because you want even money. You don't want, a lot of people betting one way and then they win because then the house loses, and casinos don't like that. So,
yeah.
So, Fivers, what, we don't have to talk about betting here, but you think Notre Dame's got this in the bag, or do you think, there's spoiler alert city here potential?
I think it's potential for spoiler alert. Not because we're like, if it was Brian Kelly going into this, I don't think we'd win. But we have that motivation and that fire in our eyes now that we're trying to prove everybody wrong, and we're gonna go in there, hopefully beat some ass, and then just prepare for a home playoff game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean,
it's
to SC's credit, okay, they lost a close one at Washington, but then they beat Nebraska, which I was disappointed with, and UCLA. And I was looking at their games here, and specifically their wins and losses and where those wins and losses happen. So they're actually not good on the road. They have losses at Michigan, at Minnesota, and Maryland, and Washington. The only other loss they have is at home, and it's the nail biter with Penn State, 3 points. Okay, 33-30. Okay, so at home they're actually really good. Okay, they only have the one loss. Right. Now I would argue that Notre Dame is clearly better than all of these teams, even Penn State. Yeah. But if we take it for what this means and why, if we want to play devil's advocate and want to say look at the data and what data is in SC's favor that may tip the scale in their direction. Number one is a good home record, and two, they're on the up and up with 2 wins in a row. Now we have 9 wins in a row, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
What else? What else, man? Otherwise, we're gonna jump over to Jason.
Just it's Thanksgiving coming up.
It is Thanksgiving.
So
I'm thankful you are with us, Fivers.
Yeah, me too. At the beginning of the year, it feels like it was just not that long ago. But I was just rolling on Twitter or X or whatever, and I was like, ooh, what's this? Let me just listen to this and join in. And now I feel like I've made a lot of good friends. You know what I mean? We're such like a close community. It felt good to meet some of you guys in person.
I'm glad you said community and not cult. So
okay, buddy. But it felt just time to be thankful, and that you guys really opened the doors for me, and I feel like this is like a safe space. But no. Yeah. Also,
I feel you. I feel what you're saying. Yeah. These are like-minded Notre Dame fans, passionate Notre Dame fans who may not have people around them, their neighbors, their immediate family or whatever. Their other friends that are not on social media, their friends in real life or coworkers or whatnot, are not Notre Dame fans, and so
exactly. Because here's the thing. I live in Michigan, so I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of Michigan fans.
Okay. So
I'm also thankful during this week that me and my family, we can come down to Florida and get away from all that bullshit. And right. I'm just I can finally it's peaceful down here. I'm sitting out on the beach right now.
Oh, that's right.
doing this thing. So I'm just chilling. I don't got to give a shit about my neighbors saying you suck, even though we can beat them 55-2, and it feels good. And it's quiet out. I can see the stars, listen to the waves. With that being said, I'm on the beach. There's people next to me, my left and right. Just fuck USC and beat the fuck out of the Trojans.
Nice. Do it. Do it.
It's that fucking energy out here, man. It's not. No. We're not on upset alert. We're on the alert to beat the fuck out of the other team.
That's what I think is going to happen too.
We're not coming all this way just to lose and then go home with, with our hands in our pockets and our head down. No, we're going in there. We're gonna just take the ball and just run right through a motherfucker's face, and then and that's it. And we're gonna get our kicking game on track, especially by the home playoff game. We are going to get it back on track.
Good.
And once then, if we get Riley Leonard, he only had like one shitty throw against Army, and like it was like a little high or something. But like when we get that, also he's been improving a lot. By December, he's probably going to be unstoppable. If we do that, we are a championship team through and through.
Amen. Yeah, no, it's like where's the holes? Where's the hole in the boat? Or some people are like, they have Stockholm syndrome or that, kind of don't hurt me kind of attitude, and it's like, where are we going to find the flaw with Notre Dame right now? We don't have to answer those questions right now unless people want to bring it up. Maybe
I think we've already answered them. It's like the kicking game.
It's
that's
like
about
it's
it.
kicking, right? Like that's it. And there's sometimes a few stupid play calls, and it's like, why the fuck are you in shotgun? Like dumb shit like that, or jumping over the top. Like I feel like we're picking nits here. I don't even know what the verb is there, but it's nitpicking. What is the actual, But if you step away, and it's like, dude, we fucking killed that team. Like that's what I'm talking about, And the only other thing that's nagging in the back of my mind is our strength of schedule, right? All we can do is play and beat the teams that are in front of us. But
we don't pick if they're good or bad.
Well, that's my point, right? It's like all we can do is just pound the shit out of them.
Exactly.
We
have like
I would feel better. Let me just put it this
there.
way. I would feel better if we were pounding the shit out of teams and our strength of schedule right now is in the top 15. Right.
But everybody would.
But that's my point, right? Like it's anyone who's a naysayer right now about Notre Dame is saying, well, look at their schedule. It hasn't been very strong. They're ranked, 65th in strength of schedule in Sagar, that kind of stuff. I can see that argument. Okay. So if I'm putting on the analytical glasses again, I'm saying that is a mathematical fact. Our strength of schedule is not better per Sagarin than all the other teams around us.
Yeah, but
that includes Boise.
The other teams around us, they may have better or worse, but they're not beating the fuck out of the small teams, let alone ranked teams like we are.
Where is Boise on this?
2 ranked, and people are going to bitch and complain about they're just service academies. If they're just service academies, why were you picking them over Notre Dame?
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. I have to retract something. Boise State right now is 33rd, believe it or not, in Sagarin, and 89th in strength of schedule. So I take a step back from that. That's a good football team, but they are winning games close. So if I was, Bronco Nation, it's not the days of yore. Although you have a really good running back. So all right, Fivers. Really appreciate you. We're going to move on.
All right.
Enjoy your vacation. I am thankful you have joined us. Enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving holiday.
All right, you too. Love you guys.
All right. We love you. Go Irish. All right, Jason, getting you back here. Irish JTL. Violence.
But we like.
I feel like we need some like angry music here. What do you got? What's on your agenda here?
That was my favorite part of the game. What do you expect from your team?
Violence.
I want to see violence.
I want to see violence.
That was my favorite part of the game. I gotta tell you guys, everything's falling into place tonight because I'm actually rewatching the Army game right now. And Joe, when you were saying
violence. Violence.
When you said you were pissed off about the not being under shotgun, I was watching that play. And then Fiverr said Riley made that high throw, and that's exactly the play I saw as he said it. So I think it's showing me something.
It's one of those things where it's like, why the fuck? You don't have to do that. It's like,
dude, as soon as you said it, I was watching that play, and then Fiverr was like, oh, I think he made one high throw, and I saw him overthrow Greathouse in the end zone right as he said it.
Yeah. That'd be so tight if Notre Dame was playing this in the locker room.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
Okay. Because the Trojans don't listen to this. They listen to some
Miley Cyrus
hip hop bullshit when they go get manicures. All right. Enough. Thank you, Metallica. The what do you think of this SC game? Are you getting some nervous energy? I'm not. I don't have nervous energy right now, but ask me again on Saturday. But
I got us 37-14.
37-14. I'm writing that in the air. Okay.
Okay. That's what I got. I had us 38-10 over Army. So I undershot us there. So
okay,
I'm pretty comfortable with 37-14. I think 23 points, respectable. Does enough for us to jump Penn State.
37. We're getting a safety, or are we like missing a? We're getting a field goal, but missing a PAT. Like how's this working?
That's exactly what. Yes.
I could that I believe that. We'll hit some like 45-yard field goal, but then we'll miss a fucking PAT.
I mean, the PATs were eventful Saturday, right? Like 2 of them were very eventful.
Gosh, it's like why? Like I remember when I was a student. These are in the Weiss years, and I'm pretty sure Nick Tausch was coming in kicking for us, and I'm just like, fuck. It's like when we got a PAT, it was like hooray. I saw way too many that were missed. It was like, why the fuck is this happening? And then we got all complacent, with Yoon going in there and just like it doesn't matter where it is. It's like, oh, it's 52 yards. That might be a tough one for Justin. I don't know.
Nah. That high school kid from Indiana is hitting 60-yarders. I don't think we've gone out and offered him. Like, give him a scholarship. Give him a scholarship.
There's got to be someone on a fucking, one of the residence halls, because they have intramural football. One of those guys, I'm sure, can kick a field goal. Come on, who knows? All right, so you're not nervous at all. So you're just focusing on cooking your turkey or whatever you're doing on the home front there.
I mean, I'm cooking it all, man. I do all the cooking and baking for the family, so I'm baking tomorrow and cooking Thursday.
Nice.
2 turkeys and a ham, all the fixings.
It's so funny on and we're doing we used to do ham, and then later I've been priding myself on making bomb.com turkey. And I usually throw it in a wet brine for about a day or whatever, and then prior to putting in the oven. But then at church, we had an announcement. It was like they're like, oh, after mass on Thursday morning, if you want to have a quote blessing of the food, prior to your Thanksgiving meal, bring it on down, and the priest will take care of business there. And so I was joking to Ashley, of like, what am I gonna do? Roll in with a cooler with a raw bird in there? It'll smell like rosemary and oranges. It'll smell really nice, but and brown sugar. But
I'm an orange juice, apple juice, rosemary, cloves, brine also.
Yeah. So and I was like, I'm not wheeling a raw turkey bird into the church.
Are you making sure you're not buying a pre-brined turkey? That's the important part.
We've got. I don't think it is pre-brined. It's not like a butterball or anything like that. Okay, it's some organic overpriced thing that the doc brought. So it'll
just
taste
make sure
good.
You don't buy a pre-brined and then brine it again. That thing will be salty as shit.
Yeah, I do unsalted butter for the injection, so that with some spices. So
I do the soaked in butter cheesecloth over the top of it for the first half of my roast. So.
Okay. Mine is acid. If anyone missed I gotta find it. I gotta go through the archives last year. And I don't think I did this. It was just like a post Thanksgiving thing. had a Thanksgiving meal with red snapper, and I'm pretty sure my folks were here as well. It was the weekend of the Wake game, but I remember sharing with Dr. Abby the my turkey recipe procedure, what have you. So I'm gonna have to find that and repost that sucker. But it's the same thing we're doing now. So, all right. So we're not worried about the game. We started talking about Thanksgiving cooking. So
yeah, that's football. So I lost my shit 2 times during the game as opposed to your 1.
Okay.
My 2 were we made them punt. Why the fuck is Hurleman out there returning the punt? And then we held them to another punt. And I was like, why the fuck is Hurleman out there returning punts?
Put Aeneas Williams back there.
And put somebody back there. Chris Mitchell, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
All these playmakers, and Hurleman muffed it last week, fumbled this past Saturday. Who the fuck is Hurleman? Honestly,
I don't know.
I get it. I get what they're trying to do, but for the love of God.
Didn't Kelly do that for a while?
I can't.
For in the beginning days, eventually he put Greg Bryant and people like that back there, but it's I don't know, like Cody Riggs was returning punts at one point, and I don't know.
That's why Kansas State has 44 return touchdowns since 2020, and we have 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Put the athlete back there, all right? Give me a golden take.
At least the fast guy. Put Chris Mitchell back there. We didn't use him in the passing game.
Can I get a Zibikowski?
Yeah, right.
He's a real shifty punt returner, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So, recap of the Army game for me. I think Christian Gray played his best game of the year in terms of tackling and run support. Worst game of the year in terms of dropping 2, probably 3 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think coming out of that, I think Marty Biaggi is just an average special teams coach if Bryce Young doesn't exist. I think he's got 2 blocks on the season. That punt return was dope. They got called back, but we're obviously missing Mace in that if Bryce Young doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other 2 things I got, and I'll let you guys, I got homework for you, but strength of schedule I think is trash.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is Indiana went from 106 to 52 just by getting blown out by Ohio State. And I think they bias rank and brand rank and conference rank. And so I'm not really concerned with what our strength of schedule is. I think now it is what it is. I think if we boat race USC, where we leapfrog them, we get to 6.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Get us the home playoff game, and we want the smoke. Just bring whoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever.
That's what it comes down to. At the end of this week, it's look, take care of the meal in front of you, which is the Trojans, and all this strength of schedule and jockeying for position does not matter. Notre Dame wins out. We're in it, clearly. And then more than likely going to be hosting a game in South Bend, which is great. Also, I did get my allotment up to four tickets, so that'll be going into the lottery. TBD on times and the specific details around that. But we still got our hotel, and so I did get my lottery allotment, so we'll go from there. TBD.
We were able to take 12, but it said lottery too, so I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah,
I've never been through it. I applied for all 16 that I could.
Yeah. Did they send you as well links to like subsequent BCS type bowls?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that too. So okay.
We have until December 12th to do that, though.
I did see that one.
See how it's laid out. You can apply for the specific game that we would go to, and they did that tonight, so I intend on going in and applying for all of those tomorrow.
I would just go in and apply to all of them.
Yeah, the national title games honestly weren't that bad. I saw some sidelines for like $1,100.
Yeah.
When I looked at them, which,
I don't
in
think
my
that's
view, is a deal.
yeah, I saw
but-
anything. I think that the cheapest I saw was like 300 for natty games.
Yeah.
Up to like 600, maybe 900 for sideline is what I saw. You know, they may be putting me in a different tier from you, but
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
who knows? I was seeing that kind of stuff, and I did not have that conversation with the doc. I was like, hey, you know, it's in Atlanta though, so it's not too bad. So.
No, Atlanta's actually only like a 12-hour drive for me. Even I don't even have to fly.
Yeah,
I can do like a stopover in Tennessee somewhere, and
stop
then
at my house. What are you talking about?
I can drive and tailgate the rest of the way.
That's
so.
what I'm talking about.
I do have a homework assignment for you, Joe.
All right, hit me. I'll write it down.
I went back to your archives, which I appreciate. I'm able to find them fairly easily.
Oh.
You got to go back to the beginning. You might not even have to, because you might remember, but the preseason podcast you did.
Okay.
Me, you, and Snapper had a debate, and I took Jeremiah Love as the back that emerged, and you guys had Price.
Oh.
And I think I've won that one.
That's funny you have that. Yeah, at this point, that is 100% correct. Yes.
I think he's going to be a top 5 Heisman preseason contender next year. I think they recognize it and they'll see it.
I don't have the Heisman piece going into next year, although I am praying that he stays healthy, obviously, and does return for us next year. God, wouldn't that be wonderful? That is part of my stat piece for later. So you're kind of teeing me up here. Actually, we'll just jump right to that. I appreciate that you're doing some archival listening. I usually listen to the most recent show I've done, and then in the off season I'll get around, and I've got like shows on a rotation and stuff. So I'm like way behind right now, but that's a function of being a dad with 2 little kids now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tee you up with that. I'll leave you guys with this. First, sitting at the NIU game, as the dread set over me in the third quarter, it wasn't going to get better, and it felt like Marshall. Who would have thought? Who would have thought on November 26th we'd be in position for a 6 seed?
Yeah.
It was a win the final weekend, and the way this team has played. And I honestly believe you guys were talking about 2012 earlier. If you remember 2012, which I know you do, we had to have Tommy fucking Reese come in and relief in Purdue just to get us a long pass to win that game.
Correct.
And this offense, with the way that we're able to run the football, Georgia gave up 250 on the ground to UMass.
Oh my gosh.
Alabama gave up 257 to Oklahoma on the ground, and Milroe threw 3 picks. There's not a team in this country that we can't compete with our ability to run the football and the way we play defense, and that's without Jordan Botelho and Boubacar Traore and Benjamin Morrison and Jaden Mickey.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't trust in the development and the progression of this coaching staff as it is right now, outside of Mike Brown as the wide receiver coach, then we need to reevaluate what our expectations are, because at this point, I think we can have a top 10 to 14 recruiting class and develop well enough that we can play with anybody on any given Saturday, and I'm excited for the future. That's what I'll leave you guys with.
Awesome. Love it. That was awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, that's going to be next week's show. Spoiler alert, obviously reaction to, what happens this Saturday. Post-game show TBD. I know I've been bad about post-game shows. We might do one, though, since it's a holiday weekend and, the end of our game, but end of the regular season. And it's a big game, right? It's our rival. So, but I did have something on the docket pertaining to. I was thinking of what we would do next week, and it's and you just said this, Jason, how Notre Dame statistics are really good, better than 2012, right? and you're mentioning Notre Dame relative to our opponents around us. Specifically, the key to our offense is rushing the football. Okay, there's other teams that are in this playoff conversation, like Ohio State, SMU, Tennessee, Texas, right? They're around in that top tier for offense. The question I would have is the teams that are playing them, what are those teams rushing offense? How well are they doing, if that makes sense? So, because it's a way of skewing the statistics. Like, again, just as Notre Dame's record and strength of schedule is a function of who they played, your rush defense is also a function of who you played. How well did those teams rush the ball, right? And did Penn State put you on lockdown when Penn State played you, right? That's a question, right? So that's what we need to do. So, all right, Jason, thanks so much. We'll move along. Who wants to talk? Let's see. Oh, we got Lynch Mob on here. That's right. Lynch Mob is on mute. We'll come back to you. What's up, man?
What's happening, guys? What's that?
Long time no see, man. Where you been?
It's been a while. I've been
fighting fires, eh?
Well, we did that today.
We
did that today. The worst thing was it's about a block from my house. So
holy shit.
Yeah, it was a woods fire, but
okay.
It put out and contained. Got it contained.
Do you get we got one of those what is it, like fiberglass, like fire blanket things for your kitchen?
Right.
Are those legit, or are those a scam?
They're pretty handy.
They're pretty handy.
If you get a grease fire, grease fire. If you don't have like baking powder or something like that, the little blankets are good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we've got the fire extinguishers too, but then it's like, okay, if I use my CO2 fire extinguisher, I'm just going to also need to buy new appliances as well.
Right. Yeah, the little fire blankets are pretty handy.
Okay, awesome. Good. Awesome. Well, thank you for your service. Did you have any issues with the Army game, or are you just like, fuck them, move on, and let's go kill the Trojans?
Well, the issue, both. The worst issue, I think, and we've got Mac in here. We can see if Mac's flipped his script from the punting team to the kicking team.
Okay, we'll bring him on so you two can have a conversation about that while I refill my glass.
Right, I would have to agree with him with the kicking game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I don't know where our field position was. I'm sure Mac has this, because this is something he's really emphasizing. Not so much like punting in a vacuum, but punting with respect to where it places you from a ball state, standpoint, and putting the opponent back, in their own zone, that kind of thing. So and so I'm with you, Mac, when you say that. It says you're just listening though. I don't know why you're not speaking, but yeah. So okay. So the kicking is disappointing you.
Yeah, because we're gonna need that. I think that's a key part of the game. If it comes down to a close game, definitely it's a huge key.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, and I don't keep track of any kicking statistics, quite frankly. I'm like 25 is enough. There's no more room at the table. Right. I mean, unless there's something here. If someone wants to do the research of the last 10 years of kicking, like I'll put it in the spreadsheet. But I try to go for the things that are sounding good, or people talk about, like passing yards, for example. Right? It's number 25. It's the last one, but everyone talks about passing yards, right? So it's like I can't not talk about that one, right? Even though Notre Dame's pushing 100 in 100th in the country in passing yards per game, right? It doesn't matter, because look at the teams that are high up there. Some of them are pretty good teams, but in general, it's like I'm more interested in your efficiency passing the ball. How easily do you score passing touchdowns, right? Which is one of the big things that we were like very, very critical about Riley Leonard at the beginning of the year. It's like, this guy is not throwing passing touchdowns after all these attempts, and that's really, really bad. And so now it's moving on up.
Right. Yeah, well-rounded team, and I think the passing maybe just hadn't opened up because we've been so well, running the ball.
Yeah. Oh well, that's 100% correct. I think people are locking it down, and I think we're also like finding the receivers. I think there's a lot of things. I did this like I feel like I should put this as a graph. This would be like week in week out, it would be getting better. So we started obviously we didn't have a passing touchdown until the Purdue game, and that was actually from Angeli, which is kind of funny. So we didn't have any in after Texas A&M, none after NIU. Then our passing attempts for touchdown goes as follows: 45.5, 39, 28. I don't have Georgia Tech. 24.6, 22.2, 21 flat, 19, 17.8, which is where it is now. So it is getting better. It's going down.
Yeah, that's a good trend.
I like the trend of how it's going. So yards per point is kind of hovering around 11, which is really good. So I mean, it's that passing attempts per touchdown. If it keeps going down, that means we're being really efficient on offense passing, and that's all I can ask from you. I don't need you to sling it around, and pretend you're Hawaii in the 90s, all right, throwing balls all over the sky. No, we don't need an air raid offense. No, thank you. I need efficient passing that moves the chains, keeps us alive on third down, etc. And we're doing that, which is great.
Absolutely.
Now our master of ceremonies, Dos Leprechauns, he called me this morning. Hendrix calls me this morning, and he was all nervous about this game. He's
nervous about every game.
I know, but this is the first time he actually called me and was like, "Hey man, you need to talk me off the ledge." Da 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 da. I'm like, what the hell are you talking? He's like driving into work, and I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And he said he was going to come on tonight and spew some USC hate. I don't know where he is. So if anyone's out there, everyone right now, message Dos Leprechauns, say, where the fuck are you? Same with my silly brother, Red Snapper. I don't know where he is. He said he was at work still, but whatever. Mac, we brought you on to have a kicking conversation with Lynch Mob here, man. Oh, it says you're requested. Oh, maybe I need to let you in the door. You are knocking at my door. I need to now open your door. Quote the Raven, nevermore. All right. My mother-in-law kind of freaked out a little bit when she found out that Edgar Allan Poe is my favorite author.
Oh, okay.
Not to sound like dark and sinister. I just thought I like the writing. It's like people think these things. They don't actually do these things, right? And Edgar Allan Poe is like, what if we think these things and do these things? Like everyone has like a dark side to them that they think about. Doesn't mean you actually do it, because you have a conscience and a soul and all that stuff. All right, Mac's just listening, or X is not being kind to him.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, there you are. Okay, what's up, man? It just was delayed. You ready? Okay. Lay on the kicking, man. Look, it wasn't great. It wasn't pretty. Here's your chance to, bask in your opulence.
I've been on punting. They didn't punt, really.
You sound so disappointed.
No, they didn't really punt. So, look, I texted you, or whatever it's called when you message somebody on Twitter.
You messaged?
I said this was okay. I messaged you, and I wanted to say this because I've been critical about this.
Mm-hmm.
This was a game where they came out ready to play.
Oh yeah,
I was impressed.
5 plays, touchdown. 3 plays, touchdown. Later on, 3 plays, touchdown. 8 plays, touchdown. 1 play, touchdown.
I was impressed.
1 play, touchdown.
I was impressed. It was refreshing. And if they do that against USC, I don't think USC has a chance.
Hell yeah.
One thing I want to see Notre Dame maybe work on and
We
maybe
had 0
save this
punts
for
in this game.
Yeah. See, I didn't have anything to complain about.
We had some we had turnover and downs. That's it.
Right. So one thing I want them to, I think that they could do a little wrinkle, and I'd love them to show this during the playoffs, is maybe go with 2 running backs.
Yes. Talk dirty to me. Do it.
Yes, have Price and Love in the backfield, and then maybe even motion them out and whatnot. And I'd really love and this is a heavy running back draft class, and I think to make the NFL, I think Price and Love probably have aspirations. The NFL is now looking for running backs who can catch out of the backfield.
Yes.
I would love for them, because they haven't needed to this year so far, and that's okay. But I'd love if they played Penn State in late December to maybe start featuring, have 3 or 4 passes to the running back, which would really take the pressure off the receivers, which I don't think they have a strong receiving core this year.
No, not right now.
But that would help it, because now you have to have attention out of the backfield. I think that would also help their tight end, get open a little more, because now you have to put a backer on a running back, or I don't know if they're athletic enough, maybe even a safety on the running back. Yeah. It's just, those are little wrinkles I'd love to see Notre Dame add. Because I don't.
But you want these guys coming out of the backfield, right? You want them coming out of split back, or even
You could do that, but then you could also throw them in a motion to put them out on. You could also put a motion. So, let's say Love
empty
and Price
backfield, or you motion to an empty backfield.
No. So what I'm saying is, let's imagine you have Price and Love coming out of the huddle. All right,
I like it already.
You put them both in the backfield. You can motion to one of them to the slot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now you also have that play action, and you have that running back coming out of the backfield where you could do that. Christian McCaffrey does this all the time, where he cuts out and then back in over the middle. And if you're loading the box, that you could just throw it over top, or you could sneak out. You could sneak out your tight end. There's a lot of things you could do. I just would like to see Notre Dame take that little step, because they got great running backs, and also that would be good for Price and for Love and for their stock value going into the NFL. I'm sure they have aspirations they're good enough, but it would set them apart a little bit more. I'd like to see that's one challenge that I'd like to see the Notre Dame offense maybe start featuring these guys, get them in the game as much as put your best players in the game. So be creative, be creative with Love and Price, whatever you can. Use them as a decoy, whatever. But I think it might be time to feature both of them in the offense at the same time sometimes. I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
No, I think you're onto something. I mean, I'm always a fan of using multiple running backs, especially when they're both viable threats, because I think that can complicate it. Just like a mobile quarterback.
It causes confusion.
A mobile quarterback, it really pisses off a defense, because you have to account for that. When you have 2 guys back there, and now a third guy, if you include the quarterback as well, that's gonna piss people off, and just be like, man, now we got to really load the box, and that helps the receivers. Like, I'm a huge fan of this, right? And then our line has been blocking very well lately.
Yes.
Which is very surprising, because that's not how it was. We thought it was going to be kind of a struggle. I recall a conversation we had, Mac. You're like, this O-line is not what it used to be. We lose Joe Alt to the NFL. Do we have O-line U? It's a young group of guys. We were decimated with some injuries early on, and it's just like, fuck, I don't know how we're going to get through this. But like, just look at the stat sheet. We're kicking ass. Yeah, I mean, we are 3rd in the country, Mac, in rushing touchdowns total. We have 37. right now, and we've only played 11 games. Now, here's the cool, crazy stuff. The national champion over the last 10 years. So this includes these are all playoff teams, right? From Ohio State up to Michigan, right? These are all playoff teams. So all of these teams played at least 14 games, maybe even 15. Those teams of the last 10 years averaged 37 total rushing touchdowns. We have that now in 11 games.
Right.
And this was the stat, and I'll throw it back to you, but this is team, the stat piece, because you're talking about the backfield. 2 weeks ago, I said Notre Dame is on track to have the most rushing touchdowns in recent history, and we will surpass the 2017 squad. That team had 35, finished 13 games with 35 rushing touchdowns. Notre Dame is lying 37, as we just said. So hooray, we're beating that. And right now, Jeremiah Love has 14 rushing touchdowns. He is tied with Wimbush from that same season. Wimbush had 14 rushing touchdowns in 2017. Josh Adams had 9, McIntosh 5, Dexter Williams 4. Jeremiah Love 14, Riley Leonard 13, which is funny because that's his number. Price 6, Williams 2. And there's a few other guys in there too, but
another reason I'm suggesting this is there's confidence in me with this offensive line now. More than earlier this year.
Sure.
Like you mentioned. I'm suggesting they don't need to. So if they are in a blitzing down, I'm suggesting they could keep the tight end for blocking, and still use the running back to help as a receiver instead of keeping the running back. I feel that our line can pick up the blitz pretty well, to not need to keep a back. You know how they keep a back on a blitzing down for protection. To help pick up the blitz.
Yes.
I feel confident that you could still on a blitzing down, and the team blitzes that by keeping what's his name, the tight end 88. You could keep him in, keep him blocking, keep our linemen in, and then God, wouldn't that be great to see a little route over the middle by your running back and just let Love run or Price run?
Yes, please.
I mean, wouldn't that be like, that's something that I think Notre Dame, that's
Mitchell Evans is the name you're looking for.
Mitchell Evans, thank you very much. That's a small little wrinkle I think that Notre Dame could do. And then later in the game, when the other team's blitzing, you could look like you're going to do that look, and then you could throw a screen to Evans or something like that. Like, I think there's so much more I think they're at the point where they've got their passing game down better. They've got the running game down.
It's a lot better.
What's the next step? Because I do think that there's one more step that they need to take to go far in the playoffs.
Sure.
And that's
Punting.
something.
Oh.
Well, hey, that's true. Hey, I mean, there is some, I believe that there's something to that, but
there is.
But I think this in the offense, because you don't have dynamic playmakers at the X or O position.
Yeah.
You need to be able to find a different way to make plays. And I think they have playmakers at the running back position. So when you get to, let's say, the semifinal, that's a wrinkle to improve their offense. Because I feel like if they get to the semifinal, because they don't have playmakers like a Jamar Chase or what was his name? Michael Floyd. Or something. Where you could throw a 50-50 ball.
First round, second round, NFL type guy. Yeah, I'm with you.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. You have Love and Price. You can use that's a strength. Utilize it. I think they're going to need them to expand their roles a little bit, because they don't have as strong of a receiver core. They don't have a true number one, I don't think, in my opinion. But what do you think of that? Of that compensating?
No,
and that way it's
I mean,
not you're not just
I don't think it's a compensation, Mac. I look at it more as, look, we know this is the strength of this team, so we're gonna use this as best as we possibly can, going forward, and we're not going to be ashamed of it. We're not going to hide from it, and quite frankly, you, the opponent, are not going to be able to stop it.
Do you think that's something that they will pull out when it comes playoff time? Or do you think they'll just continue saying, well,
I think it depends on who they get the first round.
Okay.
You know, like, because you do need a game plan for your opponent. You know, I mean, I don't want to say like it needs to be like overcomplicated and passive that, okay, well, you have to change everything based off of your opponent, you know, like, because you should still have your bread and butter that you want to go with, but you want to be effective and utilize, you know, your strengths where they have weaknesses.
Right. Well, and I think like what they would have.
Don't be Charlie Weiss and just run plays because you like them, you know.
Exactly. and they have what 2-3 bye weeks to implement some stuff like that, a couple plays like that.
Pretty much, yeah. It's gonna be at least 3 weeks.
It's doable. So I don't know. That's the one thing I'd like to see them do. I think they're at a point of the season where it's time to add a little wrinkle, because you have to. I feel like if to be stagnant or to be content, you become worse. So you always have to look at what are more ways we could get another edge or get better. And I think that's one thing that's one challenge that the offense could take on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
No, it's good, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, my Sharks are looking good. They're looking young and good. Your Stars, they're still in third. But anyway, good luck to them. God bless everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Mac.
One thing I want to say, one thing I really enjoy coming on here. You know, when you said I don't have a lot, you know, I'm that guy who doesn't have a lot of friends. This is the one time I can talk about Notre Dame. I love talking to my wife, but you know, she tries to be knowledgeable, but she's not
there's only so much you can do with your spouse before they're just like, and
then right, exactly. And she's like, when are you going to shut up about Notre Dame, you know? And then but
never.
Exactly. But I appreciate that.
Gotta fuel this jet, baby.
I appreciate all of this, and like someone who, it's hard for me to find friends. I mean, I told you, you know, I have
that's life as an adult, you know, like it's just, you know, everyone's got careers, everyone's got, you know, this, that, and the other, and you know, that's one of the things that's been a joy with this show is, you know, I started a podcast because I felt like I had a voice about some data, some numbers, some analyses of our football team. And it was bothering me that no one else was taking that sort of approach. And so I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself, right? I love Notre Dame. And, you know, I imagine there are many smart people out there who may like to hear this kind of thing. Or, you know, we upset the apple cart and we call people out when they're like, oh, you know, and they make these lofty, you know, statements, including opposing fans, you know, SC fans or whatever.
Sorry.
No, you never apologize. I was going to say, how's the baby? This is your son,
my
right?
Son's been here the whole time. Yeah.
And I heard him saying hi. I speak Go Irish, you know. That's what I hear.
Erica, or my wife is getting ready for Thanksgiving, so it's my time to put him to bed.
There you go. Yeah.
And yet here I am on the podcast.
Here you are on the podcast. I mean, football tends to put my wife to sleep. It's like a tranquilizer for her, but or maybe that's just the NFL.
So all the Notre Dame home games, or the day games, it's 3:00 your time. So
yeah,
it's like what? 12,
it's gonna be
12 o'clock ours.
Noon for you time. This Saturday.
Yeah, it's noon. It's noon again. But unfortunately that's his nap time, and it's so hard for me to not cheer.
Games on CBS. You gotta do that quiet thing where you just stand up, put the closed captioning on the TV, volume really low, and no other lights on, or close the curtains, whatever you gotta do in the family room there. I'm pretty sure that's how I watched the Texas A&M game. I was holding baby Irish faithful as we're beating the hell. Well, it felt like at the time we were beating the hell out of them. And no, it was when Price had his long run, and I'm doing that like silent screaming thing, where you're like doing your best Brian Van Gorder fist pump, quietly. And
I do more of a grunt, like when you're lifting weights, like type or
I've done that too. Like where it's like, yeah, and it's like then you like punch a pillow and break a lamp. Yeah, exactly, over your head.
Yeah, that's more me when he's taking a nap, and then he's also, because the Niners are always on at 1:00. That's nap time too. So it's like I've been doing that all football season. The trying so hard to be quiet. Also, but anyway, God bless everybody.
It sounds like your nap times are a lot more regimented and scheduled out than this house. That was abandoned a while ago. So, but I also have a toddler in the house, so it is what it is. All right, Mac, God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. And we are thankful everyone for your contributions.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Okay, William, I see you, man. There's also a new person here, Fletch. Invite you to speak. We don't have the fourth way. He was on last week. That was fun. But I got William and Fletch you've been invited on. Lynch Bob, we didn't mean to cut you off, so if you have more you want to get to, that's fine. While we're waiting for our next person to jump on here, there's also Owen here. We can get you on here. John, I see you. We'll bring you on too, right? Whoever wants to speak, just jump on. But a little bit of USC hate. So if anyone's new, and they are unaware, I did grow up in the Los Angeles area, born and raised outside of LA. Left for college, and then obviously went to Notre Dame grad school, and here I am. I now live in the Midwest, in the greater Indianapolis area, and it is great. So my USC hate runs very deep, ever since I was little. But my first game, of course, was Notre Dame versus USC, and that was actually in 1994. So coming out of those formative Lou Holtz years, especially the 93 season, and then going as a 10-year-old to Notre Dame versus SC. Notre Dame's last tie, by the way. So that's the origins of my fandom, not only as a Notre Dame fan, but also cementing the USC hate, to which I illustrated my hatred for USC in 2021, year 2 of the podcast. We were doing Facebook Live at the time, and the video's out there. It's on the Fighting Irish Faithful YouTube channel. I don't post things there. They all go to Dos Leprechauns now. Maybe we'll repost it over to Dos Leprechauns. I should do that. Let me make a note here. Repost.
Joey will not hold the fact that you are born and bred Cali.
That's okay.
Graduated from Indy, so
yeah. Well, and welcome back, William. Repost to Dos Leprechauns. Yeah, I went to Gonzaga first, right? So I know what a real basketball school looks like. And then they're actually playing, I think, in the Bahamas. So that sounds cool. And then after that, went to Notre Dame for grad school. But yeah, no, never left Indiana after grad school, right? The doc did her work down at IU and whatnot, and so here we are. So yeah, it's great, and we love living here. But go to the old channel, and I'll try to put a link out there. It's me eating a crazy hot pepper, like 1 million Scoville. It's not a Carolina Reaper, but it's kind of like a step down from that. And then I proceed to try to podcast about how much I hate USC. So it's a little funny. I thought it was funny. So if you want to see what the studio used to look like, that's what it is. So, but that's the USC hate. William, how much do you hate USC?
It's through under freaking Davey and.
Oh, I'm losing you. You're going in and out. Are you inside of a fuselage or something right now? Is there a special place in the hangar?
Hello, is that better?
That is better.
Hello?
Yo.
Okay. I said, well, I've lived through the good times, and also a lot of bad times, but we're still up on them. We're still up on them.
Oh yeah, by far.
I hate
by
the
far.
Fucking spoiled children from California, man. Fucking hate them.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
almost from worse than the state up north. Almost as much.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay.
So,
USC is the gold medal for hate. Then it's Michigan 2. Miami is 3. I fucking hate Miami, but USC is a special place.
Yeah. But real quick, I don't want to drag it on because you've been almost on 2 hours now, and I know you got to get to bed. Hey, look, I was really encouraged about Army.
I just had a dentist appointment in the morning, but They came out and stopped them, which no other team. I know the other teams were weak and everything else, but it's still encouraging, and it's encouraging for anyone to see how they handled on the defense on the first 3 and outs on the defensive side. My critique is if I was a offensive coordinator for an opposing team, how I would beat the Irish would be very quick up tempo offense. I mean, it's got to be brutal, because they don't seem to do well. There's been shades. Even NIU did that. They kind of were like kind of quick pace, but not as quick as I would want it to be at. I'm talking no huddle, breakneck speed, and that's the way to break down Notre Dame, because they don't know, they can't have time to adjust, call in plays. When any other opposing team gives Al Golden the chance to evaluate and put in changes quickly, they can't compete. But if you get an offensive coach who understands what he needs to do and has a well-disciplined offensive unit and really can push the ball fast, I don't think Notre Dame can compete on that level. But having said that, I don't think there's a team out there that can compete against our defense. See, that's what I'm saying.
Defense wins fucking championships.
It does.
And we are going to break everybody's fucking neck from here to February if we just get over our freaking intimidation of our own selves. Everybody's these naysayers, these people the sky's falling. Guys, you got to get over that shit. We're going to fucking run it right through through their asses. I stopped. So we're going to go
that.
right through them like crap through a goose. So everybody needs to be relaxed. You don't need a top tier offense. You don't need an all-time wideout. You don't need an all-time quarterback. What you do need is a strong defense that reloads like ours does.
Yes.
I mean, we don't even have to start a lot of the starters from the beginning of the season. Think about that.
Yeah, that's what's really wild, especially in the secondary. It's just like people like a Don Schuler are just stepping up and taking care of business.
Joe, if we would have had this secondary through some of the Kelly eras, we would have won several championships.
Yeah. It's very it's very promising that the backbone of this team 2 years in a row is the defense, and this year it's nice to see the offense. We spent pretty much most of the night talking about rushing offense and some of the excitement that we've seen and that we love, but the quiet, steady heartbeat of this team is the defense, the wizardry that is Al Golden. And let us not forget that Marcus Freeman is a defensively focused minded coach. That is his background, etc. So, yeah, we're gonna, this is the rock we built the house on.
Exactly. We are not, and I'm so pumped. And I don't know if you or anybody else is on here listened to what Coach said on Monday in the Monday's press conference, but man, I got so pumped up on the things he said and what he wants to strive for excellence on every play. That's what good coaches do. That's what BK never understood. BK never understood. He talked the game, but he never freaking meant it. He never understood how you got to I don't care who we play. They signed up for 60 minutes. Unlike Miami, who fucking ducked out on us, right? We break it all. We owe them to score every time. And for anyone who comes out here and says that, oh, Freeman should be fired, he's not very sportsmanlike, blah, blah, get the hell out of here.
Sportsman? Who says that?
There are quote unquote Notre Dame fans who actually gone on to like different podcasts and said, oh, this guy's got to go because he's just,
because he runs up the score?
Academy and everything else. And I'm like, get out of here,
Oh,
dude.
Shut up.
I'm serious.
Yeah, you're not pissed that he has a 76% win percentage, okay? Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about this. Coach Freeman is putting up numbers we have never seen. I had never seen in my lifetime.
No, not even close.
Never.
And again,
close.
It goes back to the foundation of this show. The whole point of me doing this show is I was so fucking pissed that Notre Dame was not good 7 years in with Brian Kelly. This is 2016. That was the inflection point for me as a fan that I've never been the same, right? This is like you see these things on social media, like, and this is the origin story of him becoming a villain, right? Like that was me, right? And so going into that season and or coming out of that season, I was so pissed, and I started wanting to understand and analyze, and that's why I started looking at recruiting a little more, looking at rankings, found Sagarin, started listening to some other podcasts, etc. But then I was like, it's not quite hitting all the. And boy, am I going to put you on mute here or something, man. But man, you're all over the place on that. But the whole synthesis of this show was comparing Notre Dame to national champions, and initially that sucked because it was not good, and it was identifying the gaps, identifying the holes. Where are we lacking? Where are we doing well? Let's not just compare us to the Bob Davie years, or I don't even know how valuable it is to compare us to the Holtz years, right? Because the game has changed so much since then, and like let's not do that. Now, I will say this though. Watching this Army game, our defense is fast. Our defense is physical. They flash to the ball.
Fucking kills, bro.
They
those guys got
were
to the
so
ball.
Fast, and the tackling looked good. The angles they were taking were good, and we'll bring John on here. I see you, Warrior 40. I'm standing in a bar talking to John, and I'm like, am I watching the 1988 team like play defense? How fast those linebackers and the secondary got to the ball? Because that's what it feels like. I'm like, go watch this Army game, pause the game, then go over to historical YouTube and put in the '88 national championship game and watch our defense.
Joe, I think these guys are faster.
Well, we all know they are faster because that's the evolution of the the athlete. I'll put it that way. But what I'm saying is, I'm seeing the precision and the physicality of our defense that's being extremely effective, like that 88 defense was. And at times the 2012 defense was like that. It was very much a bend don't break. But you had Dan Fox and Manti Te'o, etc., that were in there, taking care of business. And then you had Stephon Tuitt or whatever. But like now it's like we are just all over the place. Now, maybe it's a little easier with Army. You know, you kind of know what they're going to do, but that's good coaching, that the coaches are saying, okay, here's your read. You either need to go here or here. Here's your read. As soon as it happens, it's instinctual. You know, right? We're not mind fucking people with all these checks and people looking like a Chinese fucking fire drill, you know, before the snap. No, we went over this on Tuesday with coach, okay, in practice. And, you know, part of me feels a little bad for Tyler Buckner because you know he got his ass kicked in practice going against our ones. And I'm happy that he was able to make that contribution to our team to get them ready for Army.
Yeah, Joe, I
Tyler's
agree.
done a great job, bro. I mean, he's obviously stepped up, and he's, in my eyes, he's become Mr. Notre Dame. I don't care what anyone else says.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna get off. I know I'm a little bit noisy and everything, but thanks for keep going on the podcast. You all have a great Thanksgiving, and
Happy Thanksgiving, William.
Beat fucking SC.
Beat the Trojans. Beat them like they owe us money. William Frazier, Warrior 40. I hear you there, John.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hello. Happy Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, same to you.
You finally home?
Hey,
no
yes,
longer living out of a suitcase?
That's correct. That's correct.
You're like, thank God.
And you're 100% right on the speed of the defense.
Oh,
it's just fun to watch.
You're telling me I'm right. Let me turn your microphone up a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, when teams try to run on the perimeter, they can't. And it's been that way all year. And they can't. Not only are we fast, we're very deep and extremely well coached.
Yes.
I mean, our defense is dialed in. We've lost a lot of key players, but, you know, next man in is the old saying. So,
yeah.
It's been fun to watch.
That's a function of the talent pool that we have. Like, okay, one guy goes out, we got another guy to back him up. And two, it goes back to the coaching, that the coaching is preparing the entire squad for this moment. You know, obviously you have the ones and the twos for a reason, but when the twos are coming in, the drop-off is not nearly as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, I agree. And we're playing young, talented players sooner. I mean, Kelly would make them sit for years and, you know, get them out there. Let them play.
Yeah, let the kids play, man. Let a player play. Let them do it.
So, yeah, that's great. Regarding the game against SC.
Yes. The enemy.
My emotion says that it's going to be a tight game, but my intellect says the Irish are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
You know, if you just look at the facts, you look at stats, Notre Dame's a much better team. You know,
yeah.
We used to say, oh, USC has so much more talent, and maybe they did. That's not the case anymore.
You know, it's funny. It's funny with their talent pool. Like growing up in the area, and obviously, like, you know, Southern California high school football is. Like, I still always have an eye on it because I'm always curious to see how things are going. They always are able to recruit and pull good talent from their own backyard. So it's really nice when we get someone like KVA from St. John Bosco, arguably one of the best high school football programs in America, to come to Notre Dame. You know, that's awesome. What's interesting is I always look at four-year recruiting, and it unfortunately, with NIL, it's kind of lost its shine just because you got transfer portal and guys drop off, and you know your squad your recruiting class 3 years ago. Who knows how many of those guys are still in the program? But point being, recruiting is still something that I keep track of. And with USC, it's very strange. They're kind of all over the place. The variance here is just all over. The average for the last 4 years is 25.5. Notre Dame's 9.3. So hooray for Notre Dame. But USC is 7, 70, 8, and 17.
Yeah,
Whereas,
that is all over the board.
Where Notre Dame is 9, 7, 12, 9. So like, okay, we're kind of in the meaty middle there. Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of, I think, the arc of Notre Dame. It's like, look, you're a top 10 recruiting class. You pretty much year in, year out, especially right now with a good recruiting coach that Marcus Freeman is, and he's a player's coach. But we're pretty stable now. I think that number will only get better as Notre Dame performs well, year in and year out. But that's a long-term investment there. But in the short term, just us versus USC, it's like the inconsistency of their recruiting is really mind-blowing. Like, I know the COVID year kind of screwed them, which is great. But at the same time, it's like, man, they are just all over the place, and I think some of it is a function with the Lincoln Riley first year, right? He basically brought half of Oklahoma's team over to SC, with Caleb Williams and whatnot. So, there are some things that probably explain this, but you're 100% right. You were talking about statistics. USC is not what they used to be. Certainly, I'm sure Trojan Nation is not happy with their 6-5 record right now. Their empty stadium is illustrating that's for sure, and it's going to be an Irish takeover in the Coliseum.
Oh, that would be nice to see.
Yeah, I mean the cheapest tickets I saw on like StubHub or something were like 100 up in the cheapos, and but like decent seats were we're pushing 200, 250, so it's out there. So I won't be there, but Red Snapper will be there, and it's good stuff. Who do you hate more, ISIS or USC? USC. Okay.
100%.
Yeah, they're
terrible. It's as it relates to college football teams, they're at the top of the list, top of the hate list.
I hate that team, man. Fuck those guys. It sucks. It took me. Let's see here. First time I saw him was a tie. The next time I saw Notre Dame was a loss. It was like 10-0 or something stupid. In '98, in the Bob Davie years, and then 2009 when I was a student. That was when we had Clausen. That was a close game. That was fucking what's the coach? This fucking gray hair and khaki pants. Fuck.
For
SC. What's his name? Pete Carroll. Gosh, man. That was Pete Carroll's last year. We got close, but it wasn't there. A sidebar, that year, the pep rally that year, I wasn't at the pep rally, but one of my favorite pep rally speeches is the Rocket coming on stage and hyping up the students, hyping up the crowd, prior to the USC game in 2009. If you got some time, go out and go to YouTube. It's out there. I actually did it like 2 weeks ago. I was curious, and it's out there. Just type in Notre Dame USC pep rally 2009 Rocket. It'll come up. You'll find it. You get the whole speech, and it's really fun to listen to because you get like elements that are totally Lou Holtz, where he's saying like don't flinch and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's really fun, and then he has an epic mic drop at the end. It's pretty good. So it's good.
So
stuff.
the first game that Dom I went to with Dom, I took Dom, was I think in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Davie against Pete Carroll. It may have been Pete Carroll's first year. And Notre Dame won that game. I think it was the first year or one of the first years when they expanded the stadium.
Okay.
Does that sound right? Around 2000?
It was actually 97 when they did that.
Okay.
But 2000, let's see, SC, that was an away game. So maybe it was 99 where we won 25-24. Was it a close game?
Yeah, it was a close game.
Or 97, we lost by 3.
It wasn't 97.
So maybe 99.
That was probably the first game I went to in the expanded stadium.
Okay.
But it was neat.
I've never known anything but an expanded stadium. So, well, pre Crossroads, post 96, 97 expansion. So 97 expansion, because I think they were starting the expansion in 96, and then 97 they opened it up. So you're feeling good about this team? Statistically,
I'm feeling good.
we're superior. The only other thing that's bothering you is just the spoiler opportunity that USC is going to try to do.
That is correct. That's correct.
The Coliseum is not a hostile place relative to, say, Kyle Field. USC fans are trash. They're not as bad as Miami fans as far as being fair weather. Miami is hot and cold. With SC, it's like a crescendo of a wave. It's like either it'll slowly build up and slowly build down. But they're still trash fans at SC. So it will not be a hostile environment. It's going to be an Irish takeover in the Coliseum. I guarantee it.
That'll be great to see.
You'll get some USC people that come out of the woodwork just because it's a big Notre Dame game and they hate Notre Dame. But it's also because, they just don't understand what Notre Dame's all about. So,
Well, I'll jump off here and go Irish.
Go Irish, John. Really appreciate you.
Beat Southern Cal, which I hate being called. Right.
That's right. Beat Southern Cal. Oh, and I gotta find this. It's we'll bring Justin Roush. I see you on here. We're gonna look for some fun stuff. But Justin Roush, you've invited you to speak, or maybe it's just Natalie who stole your phone. J.R. Roush 11. Bringing you on the mics tonight. You might close us out unless Owen wants to jump on. Owen, I sent you an invite. It says you're speaker. I don't know if you're on mute or what the deal is there. We have a couple other.
What's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
Oh, sorry. How are you?
Good. Long time no see, man. Welcome back to the show, Justin.
Thank you. Yeah, she didn't steal my phone. She's sitting here with me though. We've been listening. So
she was happy with
psyched.
the Army game with respect to running the damn football.
She was jacked, bro. How about the athleticism of Love when he just jumped over the... Oh, my God.
And then he just stands there just like, what? This is what I do. This like there's two types of hurdles. There's the hurdle where you're like totally off balance and you're like, it's like chaotic. And then there's the athletic... I'm just going to jump over you because I did high jump in high school or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was insane.
It was sick.
That was a match with two different athletes. Yeah, that was two different worlds. But hey, you were talking about that pep rally with Rocket.
Yes.
Dude, I was there.
You were there? No shit.
Never had goosebumps like that.
Oh.
That was awesome. Yes.
Wait, were you at the game too?
I was. Yeah, that was when.
Oh, so we went to a game together. Nice.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah. So you were a student. You said I graduated.
The doc was with me. The doc came to the game with me too. Yeah. I was at the pep rally.
Okay.
I was a student. I was a student. Yeah. She was my guest.
So I graduated from Colorado State in 2007. So I was a couple years removed from college and went down. That was my first Notre Dame USC game. And yeah, if you remember, dude, Notre Dame got down to like the 4-yard line, a 4th and goal with like under a minute. And Duval Kamara slipped out of his break and fucking Jimmy had thrown a ball like right off. It would have been right there, but he slipped and fell. That's how that ended.
Yeah, and it got a little dicey at the end. We just couldn't put it together, but we were putting together a drive, which was awesome. But
yeah, but I was there. But no, man, I'm psyched for this Saturday. I obviously there's a little bit of nerves in me. It's like shit. These assholes. The only thing they are living for right now is to ruin our fucking life. That's it. But I do feel like this team has grown, and I believe, man. I think this is a really good football team. I think Notre Dame's gonna win.
Hey, on that note, we got a message coming in here real quick.
Okay.
It will not be just one coach, just one football player, just one chair. It'll be you. You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Thank you, Coach.
Digger.
Love it. Good stuff.
That's awesome. Thanks for calling in, Digger.
That's right. That's right. Oh, wait. We got some other guy here. What the hell is this? What do you want, man?
Is that your kid?
Grab his dick and twist it! Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude. You twist that dick! Twist his dick!
Dick the Trojan dick!
Oh my god. Oh, dick twist!
Fuck the Trojans.
Love it. Fuck the Trojans, man.
Maybe we should call that the old dick twist of the Trojans. That might send the wrong signal of this show. This is what happens when it gets late. These are the nuggets and the rewards for people who listen all the way through the show. With Mac's luck, most likely he's trying to rock the baby to sleep, and so he took his earbuds out, and so he had the phone on audio, and then his wife just happened to walk into the nursery and probably just heard that, and is like, "What the fuck are you listening to? What are you exposing our child to?" No, football, Notre Dame. It's fine.
Grandpa Digger. We're good.
We're good. We good. Well, that last guy was not Digger. That was
obviously
someone who also doesn't like USC. All right. Anything else we need to be left with other than some dick twisting?
Nah, man, I'm excited. I think this team is improved, and I think they're better than this whole strength of schedule bullshit. Fuck it, man. We're gonna get ourselves a home game, and I really don't give a shit who it is. Go Irish.
Yeah, go Irish, man. That's exactly what I'm down with, and what I'm gonna roll with right now. And I don't think we have to say anything more with that.
All right, brother. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Justin Broush on the X. We got the Trojans, the team we hate. I fucking hate this team. Let's go kick their ass. But before that, have a good, happy Thanksgiving. If anyone's got work tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll keep you company, because you're really not going to be that productive tomorrow. Or pop me in while you're trying to avoid your family. Put your phone on, put your earbuds in, take care of it. Go Irish. Beat Trojans. 49-10. That's my prediction.